What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Well,
We're stroking our beards.
yeah, I kind of feel outmatched here.
You are a little bit outmatched, yes. What can I say?
I'm stroking stubbles while you are stroking this magnificent thing of beauty on your chin. I mean, Elmar's actually, he
Yeah,
can
I
go.
just shaved off a bit this morning, so yeah. Shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have done that.
No, not when you're streaming with Aris Politopoulos, aka Emir. All right,
Yes, that is me.
a fire giant with a beard that is on fire in terms of style.
Yeah,
And
hopefully not literally.
no, that's never a good idea for a beard.
That is never a good idea.
No. Hey, I'm talking about fire. I feel fired up. Because I've
Feel
been
fired up?
I've been warmed up by an excellent stream that we just came from just before
Yes.
by the one and only J.A. Pesco, one of the people
Yes.
that tunes into our streams often, but is also streaming himself. Well, he's
Yes.
not streaming himself; he's streaming Civilization, but he's not one of those.
Also himself.
Also himself playing
Playing
Civilization.
Civilization.
Yeah.
So go drop him a follow at twitch.tv/JAPasco.
Yes, for sure. And then after that, quickly get back here because we're going to do something cool.
Yes.
Basically, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to play a game, and Aris, you're going to talk about the Assyrians for hours on end, and Omar, you're going to act as if you're interested in everything that Aris has to say. That's why I invited you in here.
You will also have to make sure that Angus doesn't fuck up.
That is true.
Wow,
you
That's
have
a big task.
you have as values, which by the way we are value or part of value as
Yes,
values
yes,
as
yes.
values web
Right
editor.
there.
That's your responsibility. You have to make sure that Aris keeps on talking and I don't fuck up. So that's that. So what are we going to be playing?
We are gonna be playing Old World.
Yes.
This is a brand new game by Mohawk Games.
Yeah.
And Soren Johnson, who was a designer for Civilization 3 and 4 and for Dragon Age Legends and for Off-World Trading Company, and now Old World. So
Yeah.
somebody who with tremendous experience.
Somebody who knows who knows what they're doing basically.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
not their first time around the bend, and I can tell you I've already played 2-3 hours of this game. It shows. This is not another beginner's game in multiple ways than one. Maybe we just want to get into it because we will have a lot to talk about. You ready, Omar? Because
I'm ready.
okay, you're ready because no, you still get like a pass because in about 10 seconds, Aris will start talking about Assyrians. Just saying.
Assyrians and Assyrians.
Of course, with these games, the UI is not all over the place, but it's cluttered. So I have to see where we can put our lovely visages. But anyway, let's start. So a new game. All right, go Aris, take it away.
All right. We get to the leader. First of all, it's been a while. It's been actually since never. We've been streaming for what, like 2 years now, 3 years now,
Man, way longer.
and we never had the chance to play with Assyrians, and it was such a bummer. I always had to like go around it because it was like Persia.
You have to talk about Persia.
Like fuck that, man. No, we get to talk about Assyrians. If you didn't know, I wrote my PhD on Assyrians.
If you didn't know.
So that, and today we get to play with Assyria. That's amazing.
Somehow, though, even if we never play Assyrians, you always get to talk about them.
Yes. It's not like I wrote a PhD about them.
Exactly. It's not. It's not as if everything is going to be entirely new that we're going to be listening to. But anyway, that said, we are playing the Assyrians, which were present, which are not present in Civilization 6.
No,
but
at least not yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna see, by the way, if I can actually, because one of the things, this game is in early access, and it's kind of the music volume is kind of a thing in the game. So, maybe that's better.
Yes, I think you were shouting as well because of that. You were like,
yeah, I was just.
You couldn't hear yourself.
No, and now I can, and
yes.
Maybe this sound is a little bit too low now on. Well, it seems so, actually. Maybe I should just bump my own PC sound down a little bit. Let me just do that. And, right. And then, actually, you do get to enjoy a bit of the music, which is nicely just dramatic.
And JA has raided us.
Has raided us.
Raided.
Oh, no.
Hello,
Fight back.
No, don't fight back. No.
Wait, we're being raided, right? That's the whole deal.
Don't fight back.
For some reasons, our trumpets are broken.
Oh no.
I think they are broken. Let's test one more time. Oh no, they're there.
They are there.
All right, let's get back to
back to it.
you talking about Assyrians. So, Assyrians.
Yes.
By the way, I want to say that nearly all the individuals that we get to choose as leader kind of look like you.
I mean, there's a reason I did a PhD on Assyrians. Right?
No. There's a reason you have a beard, I was thinking, but okay.
But I had the beard before I did the PhD.
Yeah.
So as with any historical game, you get to choose, well, not any historical game, but this genre of 4X historical games, you get to choose a leader. And so of different factions, right? And there's Babylonia is in here. Carthage, Dido. Love this character art, by the way. Absolutely
Amazing
love it.
Amazing character art.
I thought when I first...
Hatshepsut?
Hatshepsut, exactly. So I thought for a bit this was Cleopatra, but no, Hatshepsut, very good.
No, Hatshepsut is awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm going to talk about Hatshepsut another time.
Yes, please. All right. Philip of Greece.
That is surprising. And that is actually pretty awesome that they didn't go with Alexander, but they went for Philip.
Mm-hmm.
It's also pretty dope because I'm kind of sick of Alexander, so there's that.
All right. Persia, our good friend Cyrus.
We have one with Cyrus. Look
Yes.
at his mustache.
Yeah, good. Good mustache for sure. I like how the crown and everything. He's very Civ 5 Cyrus looking, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. It looks exactly like the Civ 5 Cyrus.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in this game that look a
And the
lot
mustache
like the game.
Civ
Yes.
4 Cyrus.
Civ 4 Cyrus, yes.
Wonder how that made.
How could that happen?
How could that ever happen?
Yes. And then Rome with Romulus.
That is also nice.
Yes, isn't it?
A nice set of leaders, I must say. Not very, with the exception of Assyria, that they picked a little bit of a standard pick. Everything else is pretty cool.
Yeah. And then the last leader is Dr. Random.
Yes, it's you. The last
I know, I'm one of the great leaders, but somehow I don't have a bio in here. I don't understand.
we need to send them your bio
Oh, yes, let's.
with all the grants you want at JA stream.
For sure. But we are, of course, going to play as Ashurbanipal of Assyria. Do you want to do the honors and read the bio here, or what do you want to do?
You go ahead. You read it because I will be talking a lot.
Right. I am Ashurbanipal, king of the universe, descendant of great kings. I was the fourth in line for the succession, but my father, Esarhaddon, Esarhaddon?
Esarhaddon, yeah.
Esarhaddon, okay. It's important to put the accent on the right, whatever. Picked me to rule Assyria because of my bravery and intelligence, while sending an older brother to rule a distant kingdom. Unrest comes from his land, and I need to show him how to be the greatest king of them all. While my father was alive, I worked as a spy master and studied etiquette and military training. I constructed the first systematically organized library of the old world. Well, he can come over. He can go over to my office. Containing 30,000 clay tablets. I was known for fluency in languages, especially Akkadian and Sumerian, endearing me to many old families. I commissioned reliefs of myself hunting lions, a public event which was reserved for Assyrian royalty. All right. I mean, there's a lot to say here, but one of the things that I like is the voice of this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think, Omar, in terms of like the way that this is spoken?
I like the perspective, like the.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's Sean Bean reading to you. This is a lot better than me reading this to you, but Shambin talks about you are this leader, blah, blah, blah. No, right? If I read this text, I feel like I am this thing. There's this person standing in front of me that... And with a lot of cool details as well, right? It's not about all the, like, the macro level stuff that you could say about a person like this, but it's actually about the little things that we know, right?
Mhm.
How correct is it? How correct is it, Aris?
It is actually quite correct and nicely so.
All right.
So one of the things about Ashurbanipal is that in fact he was not supposed to be the king.
But he still ended up being the king of the universe.
Yes, and everything, because his father, way before he died, so Esarhaddon died in 669.
Under
So-
mysterious circumstances?
Not so, not
Not
No,
so
he was sick.
mysterious.
No, he was sick. He was sick, and actually he was like on a campaign towards Egypt,
Okay.
and he died somewhere halfway or like on the way back. I can't remember exactly, but Zarhaddon was. We know he was a little bit sickly, probably anyway, so it's not really surprising. But he was smart because he had a lot of sons, and already 3 years before he died, so 672, he decided to set up the succession order and be like, you know what, this is the person who's going to succeed me, and he made everybody in the empire to swear an oath that they will respect the succession order. And so he appointed
Everybody.
yes, everybody,
And like everybody.
like literally everybody.
So
had-
how did that work?
no, so the idea was that he says Ashurbanipal is going to be my successor, and then his brother Shamash Shmu'ukin will be the king of Babylon, and he sent an oath to all the members of the royal house, vassal kings, and literally everyone in positions of power to swear this oath that they're going to respect this succession order.
By the way,
That's why.
this thing, like some people have, like, as inheritance, they've got like, oh, you're gonna get my car, the other person is gonna get the dog. And this guy just gets to say, okay, you're gonna get Babylon, and then you're gonna get Assyria. Like, that's
Yeah. And by the way, we do have this oath. Like, we have copies of this oath, and it asked that if you respected that oath, but you knew somebody from your family that disrespected the oath, you had to report that person to the king.
Oh, that's not 1984 at all. So, okay, that's then of course the brother that is being talked about here, right?
Yes, so much.
So, who's not really part of this, right? Because Nebuchadnezzar from Babylonia
Yes,
Is,
Nebuchadnezzar, Babylon is much later.
is somebody else. Is exactly.
He's much later. Not
Alright.
too much later, but he's later. Shamash Mukin is. We can talk about him in a bit because he probably will show up in the game.
We'll see. Actually, in terms of stats, so every different faction or every different civilization, I'm not even really sure what they're called here. I guess civilizations do have different sort of beginning stats, as you can see. So, for example, this one has trapping. So Babylonia has trapping, administration, and then rhetorics. And we have sovereignty.
Yes.
And this is different again, right? So administration, sovereignty, is that something specific for the Assyrians? Like,
So, especially at that point, so Ashurbanipal is sort of the last at the, let's call it a series of the last great kings of Assyria, right? So during Ashurbanipal, Assyria still grew, still reached and conquered parts of northern Egypt, and after Ashurbanipal we have the complete downfall of Assyria. And up to that point, it had really strong means of control and a very
hence
educated-
sovereignty.
Yeah, and very like strong administration system that was taken on later by the Persians as well. So it makes sense.
Now we'll probably see these units later on, but our unique units are a battering ram and a siege tower. That's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
the
We will
siege
we will see. Yeah, both of them I think are interesting that they're unique to us, right?
tower-
but,
I mean, it makes sense that the tower is unique to us. because we were the first to implement it.
Nice. I like how you internalize Assyria, like how it is to us, unique to us. That's why you can see somebody has done his PhD about a topic like this is us. Aris is the last of the Assyrian kings.
I've met some contemporary Assyrians as well and discussed extensively about like.
It's
how
actually
they
true.
think.
Assyrians are actually still. Let's not be too jokey about this.
No,
Assyrians
this
are
is
still an ethnicity in Turkey, right?
Yeah, and northern Syria, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So they're still around, right? I remember actually in my year there was a girl actually studying Assyriology who herself was an Assyrian. So that was
Yeah. There is a big Assyrian community in the Netherlands.
yeah, so cool. So
Really.
so that's an interesting thing to realize that sometimes these names of old, these empires of old, are still around in some form or other. Let's talk about the families a little bit later because I'm sure that they may be familiar to you.
Yes.
Or if
let's
not,
talk-
then we get to wiki crutch ourselves, and that's
Yeah.
fun too. All right, I've also, although they're in lovely string quartets, I sort of had it with the. So let's move on.
Okay.
So. I've been warned by a lot of different internet posts that this game is hard. So we're just going to start it on not the easiest because,
Because
we've been around the
we're
block.
Never go the easiest.
Never go the
Never
easiest.
the easiest, but
And
Never
also,
hardest.
I know exactly. I also like the fact that that sounds right? And then the map size, medium, I think should be good for now.
yes.
I've also learned that Seaside is actually not a very good beginning script to do this map. The map is just dynamically generated, and actually that you should go for continent, because Seaside will plunk you in the middle of the map. That means you will always have a lot of enemies around you, and the continent you're going to be probably somewhere on a corner of it somehow. So. As you will see, there are actually like real world names in there, but the topography for the rest is completely different. It's just all auto-generated. So I think at advanced setup, we can actually sort of go for different settings. But use map, campaign map, no. But I think we don't really want to mess too much with this. Because also, I don't think it really matters, right? I don't think we can actually set our opponents.
I don't know.
No, I don't. It doesn't seem to be the case. So let's just go for this setting.
All right.
All right.
Alrighty then. Units in a forest get defensive bonus against ranged attacks.
They do.
Makes sense.
Standard forex tiling manner.
Yes.
Welcome.
All right. It seems like it's working out a little bit with the UI. For now, at least, and our faces in it. So we're just gonna roll with the tutorial because it's always useful to have a bit of information here. All right. You know what we're gonna do? Omar gets the honor of choosing our family.
Oh.
Yes. All right. So basically, what we have this little settler over here, and we get to plunk down our town somewhere over here. You can actually see the starting borders. I wish maybe we should. Is there some? What's that, by the way? Oh, they're mollusks. I guess they're mollusks.
Oh yeah, they are mollusks. Yeah.
I was like,
Wow.
what are these? What are these Lovecraftian beings in the sea
Dinosaurs
over
are
there? Yes, some mega crabs as well.
Crabs.
This actually feels like a pretty sweet spot, actually. Like we got some nice mollusks over here. That's luxury resources.
Yes.
We've got some pastures, and I guess the only thing that's a bit of a pity, we don't have any things that we can put into camps, which is one of the texts that we're going to start out with. But all in all, it's not going to get much better anyway. So, what we get to do right now is we get to found a capital, and we immediately get to say what family is actually gonna rule the roost in that capital. So cities, individual cities, are ruled by families, and if I understand it, we get to have 3 out of the 4 during a single game. And every time that you found a new city, you get to install a family there. So, and of course, they all have different bonuses. So, but Omar gets to choose it, because then at least you get to, maybe you have to wiki crush yourself because you don't know the family name. It's going to be fun, because I'm going to guess the Sargonids,
The Sargonids is relatively easy, yes.
Yes.
Let's
Well,
put it that way.
let's say I had old world history in like a week in my whole studies. So yeah.
No, don't worry.
Are you not familiar with the very famous Assyrian Adasi family?
No, it was like, well, this is other history. We don't do that here. Let's go to Europe.
Okay. Well, I can tell you all about the Adasis. They are kind of patrons of stuff, and they're very culturally focused. That's sort of well known for everybody that has just a tiny bit of old world history. No, I haven't got a clue. So aside for the Sargonids, I don't know at all who these families are. But I'm gonna guess that they're actual historical family names, right, Aris?
Yes. All of them are related to historical or semi-historical figures anyway.
Nice. All right. So basically, we get a militarily focused one. This is also military focus, but also has a bit of a resource focus, in the sense that we can have camps and nets are going to have 100% output. So as I already said, we won't really have that many camps here, but these are net-based resources. So I guess that could be useful at some point, if that they get a lot of extra output. But maybe there's going to be a city that they're going to be better for. And then this will give us culture. Culture, if I understand correctly, is basically how you get to improve your city from within. And then this is focused on, I guess, religion somehow, but I honestly haven't got a clue how that's tied into the larger game structure yet. So
Maybe it isn't yet.
maybe it's early access, so who knows? It doesn't feel as early access though as some games that are early access. So.
Bannerlord.
Bannerlord. So, Omar, what will be our first cities
I'd
family?
say go for the ones with the better netting stuff.
All right, cool.
Because
All right.
we have a lot of that. So
What's the...
These are the Tudia. They are the hunters.
All right.
All new ranged units start with sniping, by the way, which I also like. Which, for some reason...
no scope.
Yes, exactly. 3 scope. Yeah, exactly. And we also get to talk about one of Aris' favorite things in the world, aside from Assyrians, and that is slings. Slingshots.
Yes.
So,
I have a lot of weird things I like.
like archaeology.
For example.
So, okay, this is also... if you think this game looks like Civilization, yes, probably that's correct. But if you think that this game is completely different from Civilization, that's also pretty correct. Because this game works with orders, which I have to say I find an absolutely fascinating new mechanic to put in there. Because orders are these... Basically, units are going to move around, but you can only do that if you have orders to give to them. It reminds me a little bit of more of board games than of computer forex strategies, in which board games you also have orders to give. So that's how that actually works. So you have to consider how to use your orders carefully each turn.
Yep.
As you can see, we start off with the 3 units. Over here, you actually get to see how many orders I get to give. So every turn, I get to have 16.1 orders. And these units, every single thing that they do will cost us something. The worker, well, we all know the worker is like, right? They just improve stuff around your town. So I think one of the things that we want to do real quick in the beginning is... So that is actually plus... Wait, that's plus 10... What is that even? I honestly don't know what this little icon. Oh wait, that's fruit, I guess.
I don't know.
So
But what's the other then?
the other
What's the
must be that must be food, right? That must be like general food. That is or not? No. Wait, what is the other one? What is the other one?
fertility?
Eh,
It's not at the top.
No,
So-
it's not at the top at all. I honestly haven't got a clue what the other one is then. No, that gives us a thing. It's the same thing that is also given by the Hanging Gardens. So maybe it's something like diplomacy or something. I don't know. But let's see. I think we're better off starting our mine or first farm over here, I guess. Or can I actually make it over there? I'm gonna go over there actually. Come on, you, if you can. So as you can see, that just deducted one one order, and actually this unit also has sort of 3 things that they can do every turn. So every unit also has an order max.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm gonna cast
It's an
my
interesting
nets.
system.
Very interesting system for sure. I'm gonna use my scouts to explore the world. Yes, for sure, because I've already found something interesting. So going all the way over here is
Everything
gonna.
is interesting in the world.
So we're this wide-eyed new civilization. The world is, for us to find. But over here, there's the equivalent of the villages in civilization. I guess they're called shrines, if I remember correctly. Maybe they're not actually called shrines, but ancient ruins.
Like in Civ 6.
Are they
No,
in
they're
Civ?
not.
No, in Civ 6 there's ruins. Indeed, there are ruins, but that's interesting remark actually, Omar, because in Civ 6 there are ruins, but they're ruins from if that you encounter later in the game from the past. And right here in our very first game, Garrett, we have some ancient ruins already, which
is interesting.
which look, by the
We
way,
left them there.
which by the way look conspicuously.
Non-ruinous and very classical.
Yes, right.
This doesn't look like a ruin to me.
No, this looks like there's even like a holy light shining from within, but no, as you can see, it has these pillars and everything, and it's sort of the oracle-y kind of setup. Anyway, let's just get in there and
let's
come on, you get in there. Where's my scout? Whoops. All right, let's go.
So, okay, let's.
So the rest of the people can't read, but these are despoiled ruins. Actually, that's the title given at the of the window. Scavenging through the ruins, we find significant amounts of stone, iron, and wood. However, local raiders could reach the ruins by nightfall. We can't fight them off, but we can carry some of the loot back home. Which of the 3 would you like us to bring back? Interesting. It's like there's going to be raiders, but we're not even going to try. But
so what kind of ruin is this that you're just pillaging without a single concern?
Well,
this looks like an important site.
I mean, the size of the head, enormous size of the head, would say that probably this is like Minas Tirith style culture, right?
No, I mean we have the size of heads in Egypt, right? So if you ever visit the British Museum, you can see the size of heads for statues. It's not very common, of course, and definitely not like in
this big though. This is big. This is big. This is Colossus of Rhodes big.
Yes.
What would you say, looking at the style of this head? What do you think? What do you think is the culture?
Yeah, the style of the head is just impossible. It's just impossible.
I mean,
I can't correlate it with anything.
And I like that actually.
It's nice, yes.
I like the fact that it looks old as all, but at the same time, it's not one of those things that you can easily trace back.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Nicely done. So I'm going to go for wood as always being useful.
Yes.
Because I heard that wood is actually a kind of scarce in this game.
Interesting.
All right. So, all right.
Interesting.
All right. So one of the things there's so many things that I like about this game, but that I like particularly in comparison to Civilization. For example, that our scout actually gets to do some resource procurement as well. So now I moved onto a resource, salt, and I can actually harvest that. So if I just spend an order, and then I get to harvest it, giving me some, some stuff. In this case, giving me some culture.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that consuming salt makes you more cultured. That's why I love crisps, man.
Yeah.
All right, harvest salt.
So while we're harvesting the salt, Tudia, our family, Tudia is actually the name of the supposed first Assyrian king. So in the Assyrian king lists, Tudia is always the first king. Supposedly one of those kings that still lived in tents. And we have no like other historical or archaeological confirmation of the existence of this king besides the Assyrian king list. So probably, or not necessarily a real person, but definitely exists in the Assyrian king lists.
What you're saying is, Aris, we're the real deal.
We are the
Omar with
as far as hipsters go, we are the most Assyrian hipster.
Yeah, but Omar actually, with his 1 week of old world history, he actually picked the right family to start with.
So the thing is, all these names that are mentioned here are all names of either dynasties or families or kings that belong to the very, very early periods of the Assyrian city-state, of the Assyrian existence, basically.
Nice.
So the Sargonids date back to the Sargon of Akkad.
We talk later about those, because there's so much detail in this, because of course you want to talk about Assur at some point, and we actually, before we can move on, and I don't want to. It's not that I don't enjoy hearing you talk about Assyrians, Aris, but
you're trying to keep me down. You're trying to keep me down.
No, but we have to actually choose some research before we get to move on, and that's also interesting to talk about. So, research is not like there's actually a tech tree, but research comes up not as a free choice, but actually as a choice that is cycled. So we only have 3 choices, right, in the beginning. Even if our tech tree actually says that in theory we should have many others, right? We should be able to, for example, right now we can't, but in theory we should already have access to, for example, let's see, well, maybe that's actually not the case. But anyway, it is redrawing on a cycling basis. So sometimes you just need to have a bit of luck to get the research actually coming up that you want to. That's why you can also redraw. Yeah. So I do feel that we want to maybe go for divination in the beginning, because we don't really have any quarries in the around us, I think. So this seems like the most useful thing. At the same time, warrior might be good as well, because we do want to. Let's go for divination. I hear that the AI is particularly aggressive actually in this game. So even early on, so kind of scared. So the choice lies before us, gentlemen: tyranny or constitution.
What?
So we have to choose our type of government. Yeah. And we can either seize control of the court and adopt tyranny, or we can allow for the creation of a national constitution. I honestly don't really know so the court will choose the laws. That opens the law screen. And I think, I'm not entirely sure what this actually will mean. It just means we get a decree in the capital, and I honestly don't know what the decree is doing. And otherwise, tyranny, we will be just get a lot more. We will get some discontent. We will get some more money, because that's what tyranny is all about, right? Yeah. And we will get more soldiers. So this, however, will allow us to, have more civics. So we will have more specialists and stuff like that. I kind of want to try and not play super pacifistic, but I want to explore this part of it, because I feel that maybe with the Assyrians we're going to be on the powerful side for combat anyway with our siege machines. Okay. So I'm just going to go for constitution. Do you all agree?
States actually have a constitution. I think so.
Wait, did the Assyrians have a constitution?
No.
No. Was there? I mean, that's the whole idea of a constitution. Is of course,
It's
well,
very modern.
it's very the Magna Carta is supposedly the first constitution, right?
Yeah.
But then, of course, people in the US say that theirs is the real first constitution. So anyway, it's an interesting idea to play with, and since this is a tyranny, because I'm playing this game, I say we're gonna go for constitution.
Sure.
That's so meta of you.
Very meta, isn't it? All right.
Weirdly enough, neither is really like descriptive of the Assyrian system of rulership.
All right. Because why?
Because there is this idea that the Assyrian kings were all powerful and like very strict in their rule and so on. But actually, because early on, so in the Middle Assyrian period, so in the Old Assyrian period, it was just a city of traders. The king was just probably one of the richer families. And in the Middle Assyrian period, when it was an empire, actually, all these families had sort of ruled this entire area. But the king was kind of a primus inter pares, so a first among equals. It was not really the strong king. If the other guys didn't like him, he would probably be overthrown. And in the Neo-Assyrian period, they had this overcomplicated like administrative system that yes had the king as its face, and in terms of like value, the king was really high, but still there was a very large court around the king and a system of ministers and people looking at all around at the provinces and so on. So it was a very provincially organized system.
Right. Federally, almost, you would say, or it wasn't it like a federal system. It was more like a.
No, it was not. It was not like a federal system.
No, so these provinces weren't super independent. They actually had to listen to their kings, but
Yeah, they had to listen to their kings, but they had a lot of power at the same time as well within their provinces.
All right. Well. All right. So I think that's going to be it for us for this turn again. We're not really lucky with this additional city site that we just found here, because it just basically is.
Oh, it's crap.
It's just a lot of desert.
It's basically crap.
Yeah, and the other city site very close to us there's a ton of barbarians there. So.
Oh my god.
That's interesting. But actually, I was hoping that we'd had a tribe close to us instead of barbarians, which is a different thing in this game.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I have to point out is that
the Euphrates is there.
the Euphrates is where?
On top left.
Top
go
left,
up,
yeah.
Go up and left.
Oh, there you go. So as I said, yeah, Jabal Zambar is probably also a Wiki crutch me on that, Aris.
On Jabal
It
Zambar.
probably is.
Jabal Zambar. Yeah, it's actually very close to where it's supposed to be. Not very close to. It should be closer to the Tigris. But it should be close to us.
But it is a mountain range then.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
So is there a Tigris river somewhere?
Not that we have found yet. So this is not named the Tigris. Let's put it like that. But
is that Ashur is on the Tigris. So if we spawned on the Tigris, that's pretty dope.
It could actually be that this is the Tigris. It's, as I said, it doesn't have this name. So one thing that is very different here is that any city sites, we did find giant red crystals right over here. Yes, but we can only settle in places that there actually are city sites to begin with. So if we build a settler, then we basically have to go here. Or we would have to go here, maybe not a place where we want to go just right now, and then settle there. So that's why I kind of want to find with my scout real quick another. Oh well, it's already out of orders. So actually, let me see. Oh, I just have to end here. But we do have to find another city site, hopefully, because this looks.
Yeah, this does
Pretty
not
shit.
pretty shit, exactly. Pretty shit. So hopefully there's some other city sites somewhere over here. All right, let me just harvest that. Oh, that doesn't bode very. Oof, barbarians everywhere. I think we're gonna have to. We're building a settler over here, but the settler doesn't have really many places to go.
Yeah. You're doing some power play, like Civ power play, without knowing the power play yet, I feel.
Yeah. I just feel very. I mean, so
But
one of the.
this game gives me like an impression of a mix between a Paradox game and Civilization,
Yeah.
right?
Why Omar?
Well, with the family stuff.
Yeah, right. And the whole government
Yeah.
thing and the decrees and stuff. And at the same time, it just has the basic layout of Civ.
Yeah,
Man,
someone compared it to Crusader Kings and Civ in one game, which I can kind of see.
Yeah.
And also because there's lots of stuff on screen which I don't know what it's all about. Like Civ is quite easy. It's like after a few hours you get it, but here's like I'm looking at this screen for like half an hour and I have no clue what's happening.
yeah, you think
that-
that Civ is easy because that's one of the things with Civ. It's been around for so long
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
that we are sort of that's our basis, right, for so many people. I wonder if you get some people to play Civ for the first time, and there are very few of those people left. Let's be honest.
Of those
That-
who would play it, yes.
Yes, I wonder what they would think about it. But
That's true.
so one of the things that I like is that our workers just get to hang out on the water straight away in within our city border. So no like difficult building of harbors or whatever, and just
A lot of new people today in the stream. Welcome all.
welcome all. That's excellent, absolutely excellent. If you're wondering what we're doing, we're listening to Aris talk about his PhD. That was a poor move from my end, by the way.
Oh, Lele is one of the devs.
Really?
Oh, that's amazing.
That's amazing. That
That's
is amazing.
amazing.
Thanks
So,
for
to give
thanks
you
for tuning
more
in.
Of what we're doing, we're actually two archaeologists and a historian, and we generally stream historical video games and provide gameplay and historical commentary on it. And so far, Assyria,
Yes, you won Aris' seal of approval straight up by including Assyria, and I'm in a kind of a bind because clearly over here there be kippers or barbarians, but this is I have to backtrack all the way. So I don't know. And clearly we can't go here just yet, and probably this is also the edge of the world. So I feel better if we go end up backtracking basically, which is a bit of a pity, but
always a bit of a backtrack,
it's what it is. I'm very boldly just going with my slingers. Then probably my slingers shoot.
So that city is just called city site, right?
What do you mean? The city is not called anything yet. It's just
Yeah.
this is the site of a potential city, and
Understood.
and everywhere where you see these little, basically these little
These little huts.
like IKEA versions of the city that there will be. That those are places where we can basically build our center. And that's what worries me a little bit over here as well, because I haven't really found a good spot for a center yet either. I think this is probably going to be a good spot. Let's explore a little bit further here.
Yes,
Because I guess that's because this is some dry environment over here.
Yeah, it's also kind of interesting that the souther you go, the drier it gets. Like from a geographical point of view, it makes kind of sense. In
Yeah.
relation to Ashur. Because
Yeah.
in the south of Ashur, you get much drier landscape.
So one thing that I am always very impressed by with these games is with games that have dynamic maps, dynamically generated maps, is how much of a realistic world they can create.
Yeah,
I tried, when we were sort of we're still working on that archaeology RPG, Aris, but when I first started to think about the map and how you could generate an archaeological map, I tried to do this like randomly generated stuff via a couple. It's just hard, man. It's just hard randomly generating maps that are interesting and realistic.
No, and this map looks super neat so far. This map
Yes.
looks really nice, and I really like these thick clouds as as a fog of war, but like really thick clouds.
Nice.
What was it? Frostpunk had these really thick clouds, right? I think, or not.
Yeah, but Frostpunk also had a lot of ice.
You will ship a Mediterranean map. Nice. That sounds
Cool.
interesting.
Oh, that is very cool. Yeah. No,
So,
that will be my other thing. I like world maps as well, so I like real world maps. But yeah.
So is this map randomly generated in relation to the fact that we chose Assyria, and like, what did we choose? Continental.
Yeah.
Or are all continentals the same, or more or less the same with Euphrates and so on, irrespectively of your civilization or of your culture? If this question came out very awkwardly, I can refrain.
That is because it's an awkward question.
Question, it makes sense. All of a sudden, we fall next to Euphrates, and we play we play Assyria, right?
Sure. All right. So Omar got to pick our previous family. So now it's up to Aris to pick a family. So we're gonna not you chose the 2D again because you kind of want to get more families in power.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because they will give bonuses, and in fact, you can see actually that people will get upset with us if we don't find another seat of power for one of the other families.
Yeah. Oh, so Leila says we definitely have randomly generated map, but also related to the region.
Yeah.
So yes, there is arid and desert, or all related to which civilization you are choosing. Nice. That's very nice.
And dessert. I love dessert. Can never get enough.
And dessert. Let's go.
So I know very little about. So this is probably the poorest place ever to find a city, but whatever. But yeah, it's also not close to any water. This is gonna, yeah. But I feel we almost have to do it, but because we haven't really found any other viable spot.
Yeah.
So it's just what it is.
So let's go for the Adasi seat, just because the Adasi were probably the first or one of the oldest Assyrian dynasties.
So not because of any game playing reason.
No, I'm not. Man.
Okay. All right. That's cool. It's going to be an Adesi seat, and it's going to be a cultural city. Let's hope this will just be like a Paris in the desert.
Yes.
And here we are, my friend. Oh. You wanna take a special moment to talk about this city? By the way, I have to say I really think you're a brave individual because you have been writing about these cities, so Ashur and Nineveh, for so long. You spent years and years on this, literally. And you're not crying. You're not crying when you see these names.
So, well, here's the thing. I still, even though I've gone like through hell, I still am genuinely very excited about every single one of these Assyrian cities. Like, I'm genuinely excited about them.
That means that you that's the real deal. Then you chose well for your PhD topic.
So the thing is, I don't want to talk about Nineveh before I talk about Ashur, though.
All right. So let me real quick, just bring up the tutorial culture.
Yes.
So we do get that's nice, by the way. We do get a group of laborers straight there. So a group of workers. So that's good. Because there's some work to do here, my friend. So the question is, what is the best work to start doing first? I guess just something like a farm. So there will maybe be some food in Nineveh.
So they don't have to eat sand for the next 10 years.
Yes, exactly. Yes. All right. You know what, Aris? Tell us. By the way, people, if you just joined this stream for the first time and you think that we're actually playing games here, no, that's not what we're doing. We're using games as some sort of basically like stills to talk about old stuff. And now you will hear Aris talk about old stuff in the form of Assur. So, yes. Assur, what?
Also, Leila is the historical writer of the game.
Oh, neat. There you go. That's extra exciting then.
Extra exciting.
All right. Anytime Aris gets something wrong, you tell us, and we're gonna wiki crutch him. So we're now only at one wiki crutch.
Yes.
Wiki crutching is the system by which we sort of show everybody how absolutely not smart we are. So we're now at one wiki crutch over here. So if he gets anything wrong, we're gonna penalize you with 2 wiki crutches. So all right, the game is on, Aris.
The game is
Assur.
on. So Ashur is the original and the traditional capital of Assyria, and literally you can think of Assyria and Ashur as this in the same way that you can think of Rome and the Romans, right? So that's where the name comes from, and it's really the city of Ashur is defining and literally pertains everything that has to do with the Assyrian culture. The interesting thing is that there is a god called Ashur as well, which is a unique god to the Assyrians, and only the Mesopotamian pantheon in general works a little bit like the Greek one, right? So there are all these gods that form a pantheon, and then some cities have their own minor gods or major gods and whatnot.
Small gods, big gods.
Exactly. So for Assyria, we have the god Ashur. And the god Ashur is so important and so related to the city that we can't really, even now, when we read the texts, sometimes we're not sure if they're talking about the city of Ashur or the god Ashur. Right? So
Nice.
these two things are completely intertwined. Originally, in the old Assyrian period, the city of Ashur can be described a little bit like a city of traders. Its landscape is a bit arid, a bit deserty, especially on
We
the
should
south.
have flipped it. We should have flipped it. Basically, is what you're saying.
Yes.
All right.
And so they were traders. They were just going, and they were extremely good traders, extremely good merchants, very successful, very rich. They had established the system of karums, so the system of trade harbors, so to speak, across the Near East, ranging from southern Mesopotamia almost all the way to modern day Turkey. And they were using these trading harbors as their bases to transport all their goods and so on.
All right. Can we have is this a natural break to quickly talk about emissaries? I mean, maybe you can back to Assyria of Assur later. So we've just encountered a named barbarian group, which I think, and I'm interested to hear what you're thinking about this, Aris. But I think this is the breakthrough that we've been clamoring for a little bit, right? When it comes to barbarians in the game, in 4X games. All of a sudden, they quite literally have a face.
Yes.
Gamuth, the Vandal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what? Omar, while I'm talking, can you wiki crutch me on Gamuth as a Vandal something? And then, because I want to know if this is an historical figure or not. Because I do not. All right.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm pretty sure it is too, but I don't know, and we need to know, right? That's it. So, and of course, the Vandals are, civilization. They're definitely real. They're the civilization in their own right, and just not of the sedentary level grandeur, whatever you want to call it, of the other civilizations that are in here, or the other nations that are, well, not nations, but states that are in here. So, and you actually get to, when you first contact these, you get to choose, right? Sort of if you want to...
Yeah. If you want to fight them or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can't find a Gamut.
Okay.
I'm sure there is a Gam. Anyway.
There's a Guntamut, but...
Guntermut, yes. I think that rings a bell somehow, but Gamuth, not necessarily. Does sound very Vandally.
But it is true that one of our, we've done multiple playthroughs now of Civilization, and one of our beefs is constantly the barbarians and how inhuman they are portrayed. And this is indeed an extremely refreshing view on the fact that barbarians also, they're not barbarians, they exist as another culture.
Yeah, and I think maybe they may be a little bit comparable to the city-state in Civilization games. But to me, it still is important that they're given a name. One of the things that I wonder, though, is that even if we have all those named barbarians, quote unquote, tribes, right?
Mm.
Why are there still unnamed barbarians in there? I wonder about that. It's yeah.
So, Gamuth is the brother of Heldika, according to Leila.
Okay. The brother of Heldika. Wow, that just my history of the Vandals is not what it's supposed to be. You also have to. Oh, you know what? Just do it. Just do it now. Wiki crutch me on Heldika as well, please, because I don't know. All right, let's see. So the Vandals are over there, and they're also on a city. I think probably are also on a city spot. But before we would attack them, we would definitely first attack the barbarians over there. Let's see. In Nineveh, what are we actually building in Nineveh? I didn't even check. We're actually going to have to choose. So I think we're going to go with a slinger here because I don't want to leave this undefended.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Yeah, and at a certain point, I do think we have to kick these barbarians out of this region over here.
It's very nice. That's also very Assyrian of you.
Thanks.
Guys, at some point we need to kick these people out of here.
At some point, not right now.
We need to take these people from here and put them over here.
All right.
Which is literally what the Assyrians did, by the way. They were taking people from one place and putting them somewhere else.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So I wonder, by the way, what I'm doing right now, if this is a good early game strategy. Just wandering around with my slingers. I kind of feel that we could be attacked at any moment, but that will make for a very short stream. That's fine too. A caravan of frightened families approached your explorers. They explain that bloodthirsty raiders have been preying on them, and they look to you for protection. How shall we help them? Join us and we will protect you. That's nice. Send their fighters to face the raider. Slingers will get plus 50 XP. That's kind of nice, and they get guard 1 as well. I guess that's neat. Give us guides and we will pay your tormentors. Gain a scout and then
lose gold, huh? That's a lot.
Yeah, that is quite a lot for a treasury that is at 367 at the moment.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we're used to running a treasury that almost always runs dry with the 4X games.
Yeah.
Except when we were playing.
Let's send our fighters. Yeah, when we played the Maori in Civ 6, we were like flooded.
No, the Persians as well were also flooded with gold.
Yeah, at some point with the Persians also. So Syrian 23 says the unnamed barbarians serve primarily a gameplay purpose. They are always at war with nations, so there are no diplomatic consequences for attacking them and taking their cities. Yeah, but this is also what we problematize a little bit, that they are constantly at war, that they are this human force that you're never able to reason with.
Yeah, and that is that sort of stereotype of the savage beyond civilization, as also in this case, as you kind of seem to say, beyond any form of salvation, beyond any form of reasoning with, is it's one of those things that it works as a game mechanic for sure, because you need forces that you cannot reason with and you just want to attack, but at the same time it as a historical mechanic, I feel that the tribes work way better. Let's put it like that. Yeah. So I honestly haven't even had, even in my 2-hour playthrough, I haven't really had a fight just yet. And I wonder what will happen here. So they will just basically get damaged. And of course, since we're at distance, we're not gonna
receive any damage.
No.
It doesn't look like it anyway.
Yeah. So one of the things I'm actually gonna do is, because we already have guard 1. And we have sniping, so it is actually a pretty good unit. But one of the things I'm going to do is I feel that I can promote him. So I'm going to ranger fighting from trees. So I like that. Fighting from